We've finally made it to Venice from Paris, and I'm so excited to be here to see the 60th Venice Biennale and a number of exhibits before they close. Venice is just one of my favorite cities in the world. I think it's such a magical place thanks to the lack of cars. There's really nothing better than starting off a trip, in my opinion, in a water taxi. You kind of get a little built-in tour before we arrive at our hotel, which is a new one that we are trying out. This is our hotel. This is the Palazzo Experimental, which is part of a French hotel group that I've been very excited to try out. Their unique design aesthetic reminds me of a Wes Anderson film. Our room wasn't quite ready, so we got to enjoy some great cocktails and food out by the water, which was wonderful. Also, this is not sponsored. I just like sharing places that I think are beautiful and unique with you all in case you're wanting to take a trip to Venice and want to know other things to see and do and where to stay outside of course, all the art that we see. This is our room. We were very lucky to get one on the canal, so definitely worth the wait. It's so beautiful. Again, I love that kind of modern, almost Wes Anderson inspired aesthetic. I will definitely be taking advantage of the bath later tonight. I'm super tired. So this is where I will leave you, and we will reconvene in the morning to see some art exhibits. It is such a gorgeous day today. I think this may actually be the only sunny day that we have. So we are going to go to the gallery that is the farthest away from our hotel, as well as the Venice Biennale, since it's also quite a walk. So I think we're just going to have a quick breakfast at the hotel because we have quite a bit to do today. This is the Palazzo Grimani, a Renaissance palace and the former home of Antonio Grimani, who became the Doge of Venice in 1521. It became a museum in 2008, and it's one of my favorite places in Venice to see contemporary art shows. They collaborate with Gagosian Gallery quite often. The Mary Weatherford show they put on here a few years ago was one of my absolute favorites, so I'll be sure to link that above and below if you want to check that out. I can't underscore this enough. It is so special to be able to see contemporary art in a setting that has so much history and such beautiful architecture. Each palazzo that we're going to see in this video is completely different. I think they each have their own personality, which complements each of the shows. This is an exhibit by the American artist Rick Lowe titled The Arch Within the Arc, and it features a new series of works inspired by the, quote, architecture of the Museo di Palazzo Grimani and the urban dynamics of Venice. I love the perspective that each work has. It's almost like you're looking at a map or a bird's eye view of the city, where the various clusters of color and shape, they could be people or buildings, and this is intentional by Lowe. A signature of his practice has long been exploring various ways of representing society within art. In general, the works have a beautiful dimensionality to them. They're made up of acrylic paint and paper collage on canvas. And like many of the exhibits that we'll see today, this show coincided with the 60th Venice Biennale, which we will visit in my next video. So stay tuned for that. Tonight, we're going to visit one of my favorite restaurants in Venice. It's called Trattoria alla Madonna, and it's got such a great old school Venetian vibe, and the food is just fantastic. My go-tos are the crab appetizer, which is this delicious crab in shell, and the ravioli for my main course, which I know is unconventional, but it is so delicious. And I like to finish it off, of course, with the classic tiramisu. We're going to end the night at one of my favorite little bars for a little nightcap before bed. This one is by the famous Rialto Fish Market and, of course, the Rialto Bridge, which can be quite busy during the day, but I find it to be really beautiful at nighttime. Good morning. While it is still beautiful, it's impossible to not have a beautiful day in Venice. Unfortunately, it is raining, so I'm glad we were able to walk around St. Mark's Square and other places more freely yesterday when it was sunny. But we have come back today to go to Cafe Florian for a little breakfast. It's definitely touristy, but I honestly just can't help it, especially after watching Ripley. I just love the vintage vibes of it. Our first show for the day is going to be at Palazzo Grazzi, which is home of the Venice outpost of the Pinot collection. So if you watched some of my previous Paris videos, we just saw the Bourse du Commerce in Paris, which is the French outpost of the Pinot collection. If you want to go back and watch that particular video, I will leave it above and below. And if you're not familiar with the Pinot collection, it is a collection of roughly 10,000 plus works from the French businessman Francois Pinault, who's known for Kering, the luxury goods conglomerate that owns brands like Saint Laurent and Gucci. You've probably heard of them. This is an exhibit of works by Julie Mehretu, and it is actually her largest exhibition of work to date in Europe. The show brings together more than 50 works that she's created over the past 25 years. 17 of the works featured are from the Pinot collection, and then the rest are loans from museums and private collections. So we weren't really supposed to film in here, so that is why I'm not showing this exhibit in my usual format, but hopefully you still enjoy the close-ups of the work. Mehretu is known for creating these large-scale abstract works that explore themes of, quote, urbanization, globalization, and displacement. And to create these works, she usually begins with a base of acrylic paint on a canvas and then builds up layers, sometimes adding pencil, pen, ink, and occasionally screen printing. This gives her works this incredible depth and complexity. Julie also recently became famous for donating $2.25 million to the Whitney Museum of American Art to establish the free 25 and under program, which provides free admission to visitors aged 25 and younger for the next 3 years, which I think is something to really be celebrated. Our next stop is Palazzo Cavanis, which is Almian Resch Gallery's outpost in Venice. This is an exhibit of works by the Irish artist Genieve Figgis titled Unearthly Pursuits, and it's inspired by the quote, allure of Venice, where visitors come to enact a romanticized version of history they were never actually a part of. Guilty. Guilty on all accounts. I honestly adore her depictions of the gondolas and the palazzos in her signature undone style. The subjects that Figgis depicts in her paintings are often mocking the quote, charade of contemporary life, while simultaneously referencing the commissioned portraits of the past where individuals would flaunt their wealth. Figgis's work seeks to capture the real emotions behind these portraits, so the awkwardness, the envy, etc. I've been sufficiently rained on at this point, so we decided to go back and change clothes since it's right next to Palazzo Cavanis. And now we're going to have a classic Venetian lunch of cicchetti. This is one of my favorite places when it's nice out. It's great because you can watch them repair gondolas right across the way, but since it is raining, we luckily got a table inside. Another favorite is right around the corner. This is Gelateria Nico. And my favorite thing to get, do not judge, is banana and chocolate. Our next stop is a little bit of a walk. We are going to see Wentrup's Venice gallery space. They're a very fantastic Berlin gallery. I will leave a video of me visiting their space there, above and below. Wentrup just opened this space in October and it's absolutely stunning. This was the former studio of the Italian fashion designer Giuliana Camerino. And another incredible thing about this space is that there's room for artists to work on site as a part of a residency program. There are currently 2 shows on view, and these are gorgeous painting by the French artist Cécile Guettier. In this room, there are works by the Swiss artist David Renggli. These are new works from his ongoing Desire painting series, which were created from 2 parts, a wood panel painted with abstract forms, and then on top of it, a net, which has also been painted with abstract forms. And this layering process, I think, creates this gorgeous dimensionality, and it's an exciting way to play with perspective. Our final stop of the day is going to be Palazzo Diedo, which is the new location for the Berggruen Arts and Culture Foundation founded by Nicholas Berggruen. This is the inaugural exhibit and it's titled Janus. In fact, many parts of the palazzo are still under construction. For example, the sandbags in the center of the room. Those are not art, believe it or not. Janus is a reference to the Roman deity, quote, symbolizing duality and transitions, encapsulating the foundation's mission to bridge the past and present, as well as Eastern and Western artistic traditions. So the show features works from 11 artists, and like with all group shows, I will leave the names of each artist being featured on the screen, and there will be more information in the description box below. Many of the works in the show pay tribute to the Palazzo's historical features, as well as traditional Venetian crafts like fresco painting, Murano glassmaking, luxury textile production, and intricate floor patterns. This is one of my personal favorite works in the show. It is a work by Urs Fischer titled Omen, and it features 600 hand-blown mirrored glass droplets that are suspended from the ceiling. This is also a work by Urs Fischer. This is a fresco. It is still in progress, but it's so cool to see all of these contemporary works in more traditional ways, like as a fresco. And that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And in my next video, we will be visiting the 60th Venice Biennale. So stay tuned for that.